Hi, Susie Rhodes here with Past Masters. This week I would like to discuss a topic you can expect to find on your life and health insurance exam or your health insurance exam, and that is Medicare. Medicare is health insurance for people that are old. Old? Well, not as old as it used to seem since I'm getting closer and closer to age 65. So Medicare is a federal program, part of Social Security, and Medicare has parts. So Medicare has to do with age 65. Now, that's not to say that there isn't other situations in which a person can qualify for Medicare, because there is. I'm just not going to go over all of the fine details. This is not covering everything that you would ever need to know about Medicare. This is just covering some of the nuts and bolts that you can expect to need to know for your insurance exam. So parts of Medicare, parts A, B, C, and D. So Medicare supplements or medigap policies, those are plans. So these are parts. Be careful. Part A covers hospitals, not all of hospitals, but it is hospital insurance. Part B is medical expense insurance. Part C is what we call Medicare Advantage. And then Part D is prescription drugs. If you've ever heard reference to the term original Medicare is someone who has parts A, B, and maybe part D. Original Medicare. Someone who chooses to go into a closed network most of the time, they've enrolled in a Medicare Advantage plan. So there's really these two different routes that you can go through. You can go to Original Medicare or you can go to Medicare Advantage. Now, if you choose Medicare Advantage, you do have to have A and B of Medicare. You have to pay a premium associated with Part B to be eligible to enroll in Part C. So let's talk a little bit about the premiums here. So we generally do not have a premium associated with Part A. It is generally free. Not everyone is eligible for free Medicare. If you're not eligible for free Medicare, you can pay a premium for Medicare Part A. But generally, Part A, age 65, free. Part B has a premium. So Part B has a premium. Part B always has a premium. A lot of times it just comes out of someone's Social Security check. Part D also, almost always, has a premium. How much is the premium depends upon which plan you decide to enroll in. So private insurance companies offer Medicare Advantage plans and prescription drug coverage. So there is a premium for B and there is a premium for D, and there may be a premium for C or may not have a premium. Depends upon what choices are available to you, which depends upon where you live. So different insurance companies offer Medicare Advantage plans. Generally speaking, you have to stay in network with a Medicare Advantage plan. When if you have original Medicare, you can go to any doctor anywhere in the United States that takes Medicare. You don't need a referral to see a specialist. If you have an Advantage plan, you generally do need a referral to see a specialist. So Part C may or may not have a premium. What else? If you have Part C, you never would need a Medicare supplement or a medigap policy. You would never. It's only when you have original Medicare that the medigap policy becomes something you should seriously consider. Part C may include prescription drug coverage. It often does. So the main time that a person is going to need to enroll in Part D is when they have original Medicare, so Parts A and B. Then they need to enroll in Part D. Most Medicare Advantage plans include prescription drug coverage, and if it doesn't, then you would need to enroll in Part D as well. When should you enroll? So there is a couple of dates that are unique to be aware of related to Medicare. One is the initial enrollment period. The initial enrollment period. Your initial enrollment period is a period of time where, if you're not automatically enrolled in Medicare, you can choose to enroll in Medicare. If you have retirement benefits before your 65th birthday, when you turn 65, you're automatically enrolled in Medicare. So it's everyone else who's not already in the Social Security system that needs to be aware of their initial enrollment period. So let's say that your birthday is April 7th. The initial enrollment period is 7 months. So April is the month of your birthday. We're going to go after your birthday, May, June, July. And we're going to go before your birthday, March, February, January. So if I did this right, we should have 7 months: January, February, March, April, May, June, July, 7 months, where you can enroll in Medicare at any time during these 7 months. So if you enroll in Medicare, let's say in February, when is your coverage going to become effective? As of April 1st, the month of your birthday. If you enroll in Medicare the month of your birthday or later, then your effective date of coverage is going to be the first of the month following your initial enrollment. If you are eligible to enroll in Part B, which you are when you're 65 or older and have free Medicare, and you don't enroll in Part B, when you do finally choose to enroll in Part B, you're going to have a penalty on your Part B premium for the life of having your Part B. Same is true for Part D. If you don't originally sign up for it when you're first eligible for it, Part D also has a penalty that will apply for the life of having Part D coverage. So this is your initial enrollment period. Now, most people's birthdays are going to fall sometime during the month. But when somebody's birthday falls on the first of the month, so now instead of April 7th being your birthday, April 1st is your birthday, then this 7-month period of time is going to be slightly different. So we're going to have the month of April, still your birthday, and we have 2 months after where you're eligible to enroll, and then we go back in time. This time we go all the way back to December. So December 1, January 2, February 3, March 4, the month of your birthday 5, May 6, June 7. So this is unique for people who have their birthday on the 1st, that they still have a 7-month initial enrollment period, but it's 4 months before their birthday, the entire month of their birthday, and then 2 months after. So that's the initial enrollment period. What other dates might you need to know? Medicare has an annual open enrollment period. So every year from October 15th to December 7th, you can enroll or switch your Medicare. Now, if you do that during the annual enrollment period, your coverage change or your enrollment is not going to be effective until January 1st of the following year. The annual open enrollment period is very important for people thinking of making changes to their Medicare coverage. Medicare Advantage plan participants can change their Medicare Advantage plan from January 1st through March 31st annually. If they make a change during this period of time, the effective date for the change will be the following first of the month following the change. One last period that you should be familiar with is the special enrollment period. So just because someone turns 65 does not mean that they always sign up for Medicare. Sometimes they don't because they have really good group health insurance. So when they lose their group health insurance, maybe they retired or maybe they just aren't eligible for the group anymore, there is an 8-month period of time from when they lost that coverage where they can enroll in Medicare. And even if they're picking Part B for the very first time and they're 72, so long as they qualify for the special enrollment period, they're not going to have a surcharge for their premium for Part B or Part D. There is one more thing that I would like to cover for this Medicare video, and that is what premiums can a person be charged a higher premium for if they have higher incomes. The premiums for Part B and Part D of Medicare are subject to an increased premium based upon how much someone earns. It's called IRMAA. And it's a little bit more complicated than just that. But for the purposes of this test, Part A is free, never subject to an income adjustment. Part B may be subject to an income adjustment. Part B always has a premium. So the more you make, potentially the higher your premium will be. Part C's premium is determined by the private insurance company that is offering it. There is no income-related monthly adjustment amount. That's IRMAA for Part C. Part D, also subject to IRMAA, income-related monthly adjustment amount, may be subject to IRMAA. If you earn too much, your Part D premium might be higher than you would otherwise have to pay. That's it for our Medicare video. Good luck on your health insurance exam. I hope you found this useful. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and turn those notifications on. It is my pleasure to help you pass your exam. Keep up the good work. You can do it. Happy studies. Study, 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 pass.